Welcome back to the Word Expanded, the Gospels. We're in Matthew. We're in chapter 20. And now we're going to do short verses. So those of you who made it through the last one, now we're going to do Jesus foretells his death a third time. So starting in verse 17, and as Jesus was going up to Jerusalem, he took 12 disciples aside, and on the way he said to them, "See, we are going to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests, the scribes, and they will condemn him to death, and to deliver him over to the Gentiles, to be mocked, flogged, and crucified, and he will be raised on the third day." So imagine taking a walk with Jesus. It's a beautiful day. You're walking, and all of a sudden you are told, hey, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to die. Again, Jesus had done all these miracles. Jesus had done all these things, raised people from the dead, fed people, healed people, cast out demons, did a bunch of different things. And he is looking at his disciples and saying, I'm going to be handed over. Right? That's the plan. The plan all along was for him to be handed over. What if God says, hey, I'm going to hand you over to cancer. I'm going to hand you over to financial problems. I'm going to hand you over to death. I'm going to hand you over to sickness. I'm going to hand you over to whatever it is. What if God's plan includes you being handed over so that you can fulfill what God has for you? Now, none of us are ever going to fulfill what Jesus had. The plan for Jesus was totally different in magnitude. But the same in concept, God had a plan from the beginning of time for Jesus. What if God's plan for you at this moment is to hand you over to the very thing that you're begging him not to? Now, you have a right to ask him, but you also have the responsibility to say, I'll take it if this is what you said. Right? Jesus sometimes tells us ahead of time. Sometimes he warns us, hey, you're about ready to be handed over to something. We get that feeling, or it's just outright told to us. Don't think that God would never hand you over to something, because he will, and that is the refiner's fire. He will hand you over to something that will refine you, bring forth the gold that is within you. Again, we should consider it pure joy in those moments. We should be looking at this and saying, Jesus is once again, for the third time, announcing to his disciples, to people, I'm about ready to fulfill God's plan that's going to bring salvation to many. The opportunity to everybody, salvation to many. So you think about that. We'll see you next time right here on the Word Expanded, the Gospels